We'll spend the majority of today's session on the floor. Yay. Nice and low and slow. So to get started, just find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged, you can extend your legs, just find something that you can sustain for a few minutes. And then once you find your seat, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes. Drop your shoulders down your back. And take a few moments to drop into your body, drop into your breath. Deep inhales and exhales, in and out through the nose. Every inhale, sit up a little bit taller. And every exhale, feel the body melt down. Feel the seat root down into the floor. Oh, it's as if every breath in, you feel lighter, like you're about to take off. Every exhale, you sink back down. And maybe you start to incorporate some little movements in the shoulders, pulling the shoulders up into the ears on the breath in, rolling them down your back on the breath out. Keeping the arms nice and relaxed. And take a big breath in, fill up all the way to the top. Open your mouth and sigh out. Two more just like that. Big inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Big breath out. Last time, inhale, fill up. Deep sigh out through the mouth. And feel the lips closed. Come back to the natural breath. Rock the head from side to side. Maybe little circles with the neck. Keeping the spine lifted, the heart open, shoulders back and down. One more breath together. Inhale and exhale. Let the eyes flutter open. And you'll come forward onto your hands and knees, just a simple tabletop position, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Fingers are spread so wide you can feel the stretching in the webbing of the fingers, and the knees come underneath the hips with your toes tucked under. As you breathe in, you'll drop your belly down, lift your heart, look up, lift your tailbone, cow pose. Exhale, press into your hands, push the mat away, and puff up through your shoulder blades. So inhale, drop through the belly, lift the heart and the tailbone. Exhale, push the floor away, round the back, tuck your chin. Now, a few more rounds just like that. Inhales to arch the back. Exhales to puff up through the shoulder blades. And then you can start to incorporate some organic movements here too. You might sway the hips from side to side, roll out the head, neck, and shoulders. Take wave-like motions with the spine. I like to flip my wrists around and kind of stretch out the forearms. You can tuck and untuck the toes, roll out the ankles. But generally finding an opening on the breath in and a closing off or a stretch in the breath out. And then on your next inhale, find a nice neutral spine. So no bend in the back, just a nice straight flat back, reaching through the crown of your head and your tailbone. And you'll reach your right toes back behind you, tuck your toes under so the foot's on the mat, on the floor. Pivot your left foot out to the side, so out to the left, and you're gonna reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. So finding this modified side plank pose, the outer edge of the right foot comes down to the floor. For a little extra length, you might reach your right arm up and over your head. Find a nice stretch down the side of the right side of the body. And then I like to take big circles with the arm, just kind of working through the shoulder, loosening things up a bit. Take one more round of breath here. As you exhale, you'll bring the right hand back down to the floor, but keep that right leg extended back behind you. You're going to take your left toes back to neutral, so just back to that tabletop shape. but the right foot is going to cross behind you over the left leg. So you're crossing the right thigh behind the left. So a little bit of a twist and a squeeze. You'll look over your left shoulder towards that right foot. So you should feel a nice stretch down the right side of the body, all the way down through the IT band, the outer edge of the leg and the foot. One more breath in, and one more breath out. Come back through center. Come back to a neutral tabletop, so both knees down, both hands down, and we'll just reset with a cow. Drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale into cat, press the floor away. And then come back to neutral. Crown of the head reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. Reach your left toes back behind you this time. Toes on the floor, leg is straight. And they're going to pivot the right foot out to the side. Find that kickstand, and then left hand reaches for the ceiling. Nice big stretch on the left side of the body. You might bring the left arm up and over your head, pressing through the outer edge of the left foot. And once again, maybe those big arm circles to open up the shoulder. First in one direction and then in the other. And on your next exhale, take the left hand back down to the floor. Bring your right knee back underneath your hip. Those left toes stay on the floor, but this time you're going to slide them over behind your right leg, and you'll look over your right shoulder. Take a gaze at that foot, stretching through the left side of the body. So the left thigh is behind the right, left leg is extended, pressing through the heel, stretching through the left side of the ribs. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And come back through center, regular tabletop. And then we'll just stretch this out with a downward facing dog. So you'll tuck your toes under, lift your hips, find that upside down V shape. Bend your knees a lot, press your chest back towards your thighs as you reach your heels down toward the floor. Nice big stretch down the back side of the body. Spread your fingers wide, root down through your palms, lift up through your tailbone, rotating the inside of the ankle towards the back of the room. Big breath in, big breath out. Then you're going to take a big step forward with your right foot. So the right foot will land in between your hands, and you'll drop your left knee down to the floor. So coming up into this low lunge position, you can bring your hands to the top of your thigh, reaching the hips down and forward so you feel a stretch on the front of the left psoas. And then rocking the shoulders back and down, staying lifted in the upper body. If you feel pretty balanced here, you can reach your hands up toward the ceiling. Find an opening across the front body. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more breath in. And then exhale, bring your hands down, straighten your right leg. You'll find a half split. Pulling right toes back towards the shin to feel the stretch along the back of the calf, back of the knee, right hamstring. So every inhale, lifting out of the hips, reaching the heart forward. Every exhale, maybe squeezing, lowering a little bit closer to that right leg. Deep, deep breaths. And one more inhale. One more exhale. On your next breath in, you'll rock forward, re-bend into that right knee. Keep your left hand on the floor. Right hand's going to reach for the ceiling. But finding an open twist. Inhales to lengthen through the spine. Exhales to twist a little deeper, opening the chest toward the ceiling. Last inhale here. Exhale, bring the right hand back down to the floor. You'll tuck your left toes under, lift your knee off the mat, so you're kind of in this runner's lunge. And then you'll step your left foot to meet your right, bend your knees and fold over your legs. So feet are about hips width. You'll grab opposite elbows, take a sway from side to side, shake your head yes and no. Just loosening up any tension in the neck. And again, the knees are bent. And as the hamstrings start to open, you might start to straighten the legs just a little bit, pressing the backs of the knees toward the back of the room. And release your hands, bring them to your shins, press into your legs to reach your heart forward, find a flat back, and then on your exhale, fold right back down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, and exhale to fold. One more time, just like that. Inhale, look forward, flat back, and exhale, fold. And you'll find your way back to downward facing dog, so just planting the hands down, stepping the feet back, and lifting the hips up toward the ceiling. A few rounds of breath here just to reset. And again, bending the knees, especially if the low back or the hamstrings are particularly tight. And look forward, take a big step forward with the left foot this time, dropping the right knee to the floor, and then lifting the upper body to stack on top of the hips. Finding that low lunge position. Hands can come to the top of the left thigh. Then finding your stability here, pulling this left hip back and right hip forward, dropping into the hips to feel the stretch on the front of the right thigh. Shoulders back and down, heart lifted. And if you feel pretty stable, hands can reach for the ceiling to find some length in the sides of the torso. Deep inhales to open up. Deep exhales to sink a little deeper into the hips. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, you'll bring the hands down, shift your hips back, straighten your left leg, and reach your toes back towards your face. So finding that half split variation, reaching the heart forward, and bowing over that left leg with every breath out. But just enough to feel the stretch on the back of the thigh, the back of the knee, not too far, not overstretching. Just a few more breaths here. Last big inhale, deep exhale. Next inhale, shift forward, re-bend your left knee. Right hand will stay on the floor, left hand will reach for the ceiling. Find a twist in the upper body. So every breath in, reaching through the crown of the head, lengthening the torso. Every breath out, twisting a little further, opening the chest. Last big inhale. As you exhale, bring the left hand back down to the floor. Tuck your right toes under, lift your knee off the mat, look forward, runner's lunge, and then right foot will step up to meet your left, folding at the top of your space. Grab opposite elbows and sway from side to side. And this time we're going to reach all the way up on the next inhale. So arms reach out and up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, fold right back down over your legs. Halfway lift your chest, look forward, exhale and fold. Plant your hands, step back to your downward facing dog, feet at the back of your space, finding that inverted V shape. And then you'll simply come down to your knees into a child's pose. So knees come out wide, big toes come together, and the forehead will come down to the floor with your hands outstretched in front of you. And if you're watching me, I'm going to come up to a seat, but you're going to stay in child's pose. I just want to make sure you can hear me. In your child's pose, pressing your hips into your heels, stretching your fingertips forward. Finding some length in the sides of the torso. Walk both hands over towards the right. You might even stack your left hand on top of your right to create a deeper stretch in the left side body. Long, slow, steady breaths in and out through the nose, stretching through the rib cage. Then you'll make your way through center. Take it over to the left, stretching down the right side of the ribs. Stack your right hand on top of your left, pressing it down into the floor. Hips reach back for the heels. And then you can come back through center, back to child's pose. And from here, you'll press up to a tabletop just for transition, but you're gonna reach your right hand up toward the ceiling, find an opening across the chest, and then you'll dive the right arm, thread it through your left. So the right arm will come down to the floor, right ear will come down to the floor to find a shoulder stretch, a little bit of a twist in the upper back. Resting the head on the floor, reaching the tailbone back behind you. The dogs are going to do yoga too. Come back through center, tabletop. Left arm reaches up for the ceiling this time. Big stretch across the chest, and then you'll dive the left arm under the right, threading the needle, come down onto your left ear. Finding that twist in the upper back, stretching through the side body. Really resting the head on the floor as the tailbone reaches back behind you. Then come back through center, find that tabletop position, come back to downward facing dog again, just for transition. You're gonna walk your feet to meet your hands and then come down into a seated position. Hug your knees in towards your chest with your feet flat on the floor. We're just gonna find a simple twist here. So you can either grab around both legs, or you can slide your right or your left arm on the other side of your right thigh. Right hand's gonna come behind you for leverage, and you're gonna sit up on your breath in and twist on the breath out. So again, either hugging the knees in tight, looking over the right shoulder, or for a deeper twist, you'll slide that left arm in between the right thigh and the body for a little bit more leverage. Inhales to sit up tall, exhales to twist deep. Next inhale, come through center. We'll simply switch sides. So wrapping the legs with the right hand, left hand comes behind the back, sitting up tall. Breathe out, twist, and look over your left shoulder. And for that deeper variation, the right arm will slide in between the left thigh and the body. Just giving you a little bit more space to twist. Last breath in, last breath out. And you'll come back through center. Bring the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to sort of flop out to the side. So finding a diamond shape with the legs. Sitting up nice and tall, sort of rocking forward on your pelvis so that your tailbone kind of shoots out behind you rather than sitting on your tailbone. Grab a hold of your ankles or your feet, sit up really tall, pull your heart forward. Your elbows will come to the insides of your thighs or your knees as you fold over your feet. Just as far as you can, you don't have to go that far. Just far enough to feel the stretch in the low back and the outer hip. Maybe a little bit in the groin or inner thigh area. And one more breath in. One more breath out, release. Slowly come back up to your seat. Bring your legs together and then slide your feet out in front of you, extending your feet, or extending your legs for a seated forward fold. So sitting up really, really tall, creating this nice right angle with the body, and then hinging forward from the hips as if you're closing a book, reaching the crown of the head forward, reaching the heart forward, maybe bending the knees if the hamstrings are really tight, keeping your feet flexed and active. And always remembering to slide the shoulders away from the ears, down the back, keep the heart open. Take one more round of breath. You'll start to walk the hands back. You're going to bring your left foot with you. So the sole of your left foot is going to come to the inside of your right leg. So if you've done yoga before, think tree pose legs, but you're sitting on the floor. And then from here, you're going to pivot the upper body towards that right leg and fold over until you feel the stretch on this big meaty muscle on the low back, the QL here. And I like to press the left hip down manually by pressing the left thigh towards the floor. Again, keeping those shoulders open, spine nice and long, crown of the head reaching forward towards that right big toe. Nice deep inhale and an exhale. And slowly bring yourself back up to a seated position. We'll just switch sides. So left leg comes out straight. Sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh, and the knee just falls out to the side. Sitting up really tall, pivot so that you're facing that left thigh, and then fold forward, bringing your belly towards your knee. Crown of the head reaches for the left big toe. So this right hand can find the right thigh, just sort of manually pressing that hip down, anchoring through the right hip to feel that stretch in the low back. One more breath in and a breath out. And walk the hands back to bring the upper body back upright. Extend both legs out in front of you, just finding nice, easy, shake it out. And then you're going to walk your hands back to bring yourself all the way down, flat on the floor. And hug your knees in towards your chest. We're beginning to settle into our final postures for this session. And with the knees hugged in, take your arms out to a capital T shape, and you'll drop your knees over towards the left elbow, look out over your right shoulder. And gently bring the knees through center. Pause for a moment, just allowing the weight of the legs to press the low back into the floor. And then on your next breath out, allow the knees to fall over towards the right, looking out over your left shoulder. Nice deep breath in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, bring your knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug, wrapping your arms around your shins, and then extend your legs out long, finding a nice relaxed shape on your back. You can kind of starfish yourself. Squeeze the shoulder blades together so they're supporting the heart, and then let the hands fall out to the sides with the palms face up toward the ceiling. Finding your corpse pose or shavasana. And doing a full body scan from the crown of your head down through the soles of your feet, just checking in, noticing what you feel, where you feel it, what it feels like. And take a deep breath in through your nose, fill up your chest, open your mouth and sigh it out. Another big inhale, create some space. Deep exhale, settle into that space. And stay with the breath as long as you can. Surrendering, loosening up, releasing a little bit more tension with every exhale. Relaxing those sticky areas of the body where we all tend to hold tension, the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, and the hips. Just a few more moments here. Just breathe. And if you feel yourself getting a little bit fidgety or the thoughts start to get really loud, take a deeper breath. Last few rounds of breath here. Last few moments, all for you. And then preparing your body for movement. Start small with little movements in the fingers, the toes, rolling out the ankles and wrists. Rock your head from side to side. Open and close the jaw. And then easefully making your way to a comfortable seat. Ending your session just where we began. Sitting up tall. Maybe a little bit more relaxed. Drop your shoulders down your back. Soften the muscles of your face. Curling the corners of your mouth up towards your ears in a tiny little smile. Take one last deep breath in and a deep breath out. Thank you so much for being here today, for committing to serving yourself and giving yourself a little bit of love this afternoon. Namaste.